Feeling overwhelmed by stress at work, struggling with self-doubt about your future, or perhaps you're finding it hard to stay motivated amidst life's constant hurdles. What if I told you that ancient wisdom could offer solutions to these everyday challenges and more? In this video, we're uncovering the secrets of Stoic philosophy through the powerful words of Seneca, one of history's greatest thinkers. Seneca's insights aren't just abstract ideas. They offer practical advice that can tackle real-life issues. From overcoming procrastination and managing stress to building resilience and finding inner peace, Seneca's quotes provide timeless solutions for modern problems. Join us as we explore 10 profound Stoic quotes by Seneca that have the potential to fix 99% of your problems. Whether you're grappling with workplace pressures, battling self-limiting beliefs, or just trying to live a more fulfilling life, these Stoic principles might be the key to unlocking a calmer, more focused you. Get ready to transform your mindset and take control of your life with wisdom that has stood the test of time. Ready to discover how ancient wisdom can tackle your modern problems? Stay tuned as we dive into these powerful Stoic quotes that have helped countless people lead more balanced and fulfilling lives. Trust me, you won't want to miss the practical tips that could change your life forever. Let's unlock the secrets to a better you, starting right now. Quote 1. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Picture a rough diamond or any other precious stone in its natural state. At first, it doesn't look like much, just an ordinary rock without any sparkle or shine. But with a jeweler's skilled hands, that rough stone undergoes a transformation. The jeweler carefully grinds and polishes the stone, using friction to remove the rough edges and imperfections. Through this process, the true beauty of the gem is revealed, and it becomes something extraordinary, highly valued for its brilliance. This analogy is a powerful reminder of how life works. Just like the gem, we, as human beings, are shaped and refined by the challenges we face. These challenges, whether they're personal struggles, professional setbacks, or emotional difficulties, act as the friction that polishes our character. It's through these trials that we develop resilience, patience, empathy, and wisdom. Consider a person who has faced significant hardships, like losing a job, going through a tough breakup, or dealing with a serious illness. Initially, these experiences may feel overwhelming, even crushing. But over time, as they navigate through these difficulties, they often emerge stronger, with a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. They might discover strengths they never knew they had, develop new skills, or gain a new perspective on life. In essence, without the challenges and adversities, we remain untested, unpolished, and in some ways, incomplete. It's the tough times that help us grow into our fullest potential. The next time you face a challenge, remember this quote. It's a reminder that these difficult moments are not meant to break you, but to build you up. Embrace them as opportunities for growth, knowing that just as friction polishes a gem, your trials are refining you into a stronger, more resilient person. Quote 2. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Have you ever noticed how often you worry about things that never actually happen? Perhaps you've spent days or even weeks feeling anxious about a meeting, an exam, or a conversation you need to have. In your mind, you play out all the possible scenarios of how things could go wrong. You imagine the embarrassment, the failure, or the disappointment you might face. This mental rehearsal of negative outcomes can be exhausting, leaving you stressed and drained. But then, when the moment finally arrives, it often turns out to be far less daunting than you imagined. The meeting goes smoothly, the exam isn't as difficult as you thought, or the conversation, though tough, doesn't end in disaster. You realize that most of the fear and anxiety you experienced was self-created, a product of your imagination running wild. Seneca's quote highlights this common human tendency to suffer more in our minds than in reality, Our brains are wired to anticipate danger as a survival mechanism, but in the modern world, this can lead to unnecessary stress and worry. We create what-if scenarios that magnify our fears, leading us to experience the emotional pain of an event long before it actually happens, or even if it never happens at all. This quote encourages us to be mindful of the stories we tell ourselves. It's a call to focus on the present moment and deal with what's actually happening, rather than getting lost in our fears about what might happen. By staying grounded in reality and not letting our imaginations run wild with worst-case scenarios, we can reduce unnecessary suffering and approach life with a calmer, more balanced mindset. Next time you find yourself worrying about something in the future, take a step back and ask yourself, is this real, or am I just imagining the worst? By distinguishing between real threats and imagined ones, you can alleviate much of the stress and anxiety that often accompanies everyday life. Quote 3. He who is brave is free. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience. It's designed to protect us, to keep us safe from harm. But in today's world, fear often extends beyond physical danger. It manifests in our fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, and even fear of what others might think of us. These fears can become invisible chains that hold us back from pursuing our dreams, expressing our true selves, or taking risks that could lead to growth and fulfillment. For example, think about someone who has a passion for art but is afraid of putting their work out into the world because they fear criticism or failure. Or consider someone who wants to change careers but is afraid of leaving the security of their current job. These fears, while understandable, can trap us in a state of inertia, preventing us from living fully and freely. This quote by Seneca reminds us that true freedom comes from bravery. When we are brave, we confront our fears instead of letting them control us. We take action despite our fear, and in doing so, we liberate ourselves from the constraints that fear imposes. This doesn't mean that the fear disappears. Rather, it means that we acknowledge the fear, but choose not to let it dictate our actions. Courage gives us the freedom to take risks, try new things, and live life on our own terms. It allows us to pursue our passions, speak our truth, and make decisions based on what we truly want, rather than what we're afraid of. When we choose bravery, we unlock the potential to live a life that is authentic and fulfilling. In practical terms, this might mean starting that project you've been dreaming about, even if you're scared it might fail. It might mean having a difficult conversation that you've been avoiding because you're afraid of the outcome. It might mean stepping out of your comfort zone to try something completely new. Every time you choose courage, you expand your freedom to live the life you desire. Quote 4. Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Life can be incredibly challenging at times. There are moments when the weight of the world feels too heavy to bear, when the struggles we face seem insurmountable, and when even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. This could be due to personal loss, mental health challenges, financial difficulties, or any number of life's hardships. During these times, it can feel like every day is a battle just to keep going. Seneca's quote speaks to the profound courage it takes just to continue living in the face of such adversity. When you're going through a tough time, the mere act of getting out of bed, facing the day, and taking care of yourself can require immense strength and resilience. It's important to recognize that this kind of courage is just as significant as any other form of bravery. In fact, it might be even more so, because it's about enduring when everything inside you is telling you to give up. For those dealing with depression, grief, or other deep emotional pain, life itself can feel like an uphill struggle. The fact that you continue to move forward, even when it feels like you're walking through a storm, is a testament to your inner strength. It's a reminder that bravery isn't always about grand gestures or heroic feats. Sometimes it's about quietly enduring, holding on, and refusing to give in to despair. This quote also serves as a message of compassion and understanding. It reminds us that everyone is fighting their own battles, and sometimes just surviving is an act of great courage. If you're in a dark place, know that continuing to live, to push forward, and to hold on to hope no matter how small, is an incredibly courageous thing to do. On a broader level, this quote encourages us to be kind to ourselves and to others. It's a reminder that life is not always easy, and that we all have moments when we need to summon every ounce of strength just to keep going. It's okay to acknowledge that life can be hard, and it's okay to struggle. The important thing is to keep moving forward, one step at a time, and to recognize that in doing so, you are demonstrating incredible bravery. Quote 5. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. We often fall into the trap of thinking that life will truly begin once we reach a certain milestone or achieve a specific goal. We tell ourselves that we'll be happy once we get that promotion, once we buy that house, once we find the perfect partner, or once we retire. But this kind of thinking can cause us to put off truly living our lives, always waiting for some future event to bring us the happiness and fulfillment we desire. Seneca's quote challenges this mindset by urging us to start living right now, without delay. It's a reminder that life is happening in this very moment, not at some distant point in the future. If we constantly postpone our happiness, waiting for the perfect moment to start living, we might miss out on the beauty and opportunities that are right in front of us. This quote also encourages us to treat each day as if it were an entire life in itself. Imagine if you woke up each morning with the mindset that today is a new life, a fresh start, a blank slate. How differently would you approach your day? You might be more intentional with your time, more appreciative of the little things, and more focused on what truly matters. You wouldn't waste time on trivial concerns or get bogged down by worries about the future. Instead, you would make the most of the day, knowing that it's a gift and an opportunity to live fully. By counting each day as a separate life, we shift our focus from waiting for tomorrow to making the most of today. Quote 6. He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. Imagine you have an important event coming up, like a job interview or a big exam. Weeks before you start feeling anxious, you can't stop thinking about all the ways it could go wrong. What if you stumble over your words? What if you can't answer the questions? What if you completely fail? These thoughts start to take over, and soon you're not only stressed about the event itself, but also about the possibility of failure. You find yourself losing sleep, becoming irritable, and distracted in your daily life, all because of something that hasn't even happened yet. This is what Seneca is warning against in this quote. When we allow ourselves to worry about future events before they even occur, we are adding unnecessary suffering to our lives. The event might turn out fine, or even if it's challenging, it might not be as bad as we imagine. By worrying in advance, we endure the stress twice. First in our imagination, and then in reality, if the event turns out to be difficult. Take a moment to consider how much easier life would be if we could stop ourselves from this kind of anticipatory anxiety. It's like borrowing trouble from the future and paying for it with today's peace of mind. Worrying about what might happen doesn't change the outcome. It only makes you suffer in the meantime. Instead, Seneca suggests that we face problems only when they actually arise. This doesn't mean ignoring potential issues, but rather it means not letting the fear of them consume us before they are even real. For example, imagine two friends, both facing the same upcoming challenge. One spends weeks in a state of anxiety, constantly worrying about the outcome, while the other focuses on preparing and leaves the rest to unfold as it will. When the day comes, both face the same challenge, but the first friend has already exhausted themselves with worry, making the experience even harder, while the second approaches it with a clearer, calmer mind. This quote reminds us to be like the second friend. prepare, but don't suffer before you have to. Quote 7. It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness. Think about any significant achievement in your life or the lives of those you admire. Whether it's getting a degree, starting a successful business, raising a family, or achieving a personal goal, the path to that success was probably not easy. It likely involved long hours, difficult decisions, moments of doubt, and possibly even failure along the way. This is the rough road Seneca is talking about. When we embark on a journey towards something great, it's important to remember that the challenges we face are part of the process. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go smoothly, but these struggles are what build our character, our strength, and our resilience. Without the rough patches, we wouldn't appreciate the achievement as much, and we certainly wouldn't grow in the same way. Consider the story of an entrepreneur who starts a business. At first it's exciting, but soon they encounter obstacles, funding issues, competition, perhaps even personal sacrifices. There are moments when it seems like everything is going wrong, and it would be easier to give up. But by pushing through these challenges, learning from mistakes, and adapting to new situations, they eventually find success. The business becomes successful not in spite of the rough road, but because of it. Each obstacle overcome adds to their experience and wisdom, making the final achievement all the more significant. This quote also applies to personal growth. Imagine someone working on self-improvement, whether it's building better habits, overcoming a bad experience, or learning a new skill. The journey is often hard. There are setbacks, frustrations, and days when it feels like no progress is being made. But these are the very moments that shape a person's character. The rough road is what makes the heights of greatness possible. Seneca's words remind us that the difficulties we face on our way to achieving something meaningful are not there to deter us, but to prepare us for the greatness we seek. They teach us patience, resilience, and the value of hard work. When we finally reach our goal, it's not just the achievement that matters, but the person we've become along the way. Quote 8. No man was ever wise by chance. Wisdom is often revered as one of the highest virtues, but it's important to understand that it doesn't just appear out of nowhere. Unlike natural talents or physical attributes, wisdom is something that must be cultivated over time. It comes from a combination of experiences, reflection, and a willingness to learn and grow from everything life throws at you. Imagine a person who makes the same mistake repeatedly without ever stopping to consider why it happened or what they could do differently next time. This person isn't likely to become wise because they're not learning from their experiences. Wisdom requires us to pause, reflect, and understand the deeper lessons in our successes and failures. For example, think of a seasoned mentor who has been in the workforce for decades. They didn't become wise simply by showing up to work every day. They became wise because they took the time to understand the successes and failures they experienced, learned from their colleagues, sought advice, and applied what they learned in new situations. This kind of wisdom is what people seek out in mentors or advisors, someone who can see the bigger picture because they've spent years understanding how the smaller pieces fit together. Wisdom also involves knowing when to act and when to hold back, when to speak and when to listen, and recognizing that not every situation is black and white. This kind of discernment comes from experience, but also from a conscious effort to learn and grow. Wise people often read, ask questions, seek different perspectives, and reflect on their actions. They understand that wisdom isn't just about having knowledge, but about applying it in thoughtful and meaningful ways. Seneca's quote is a reminder that if you aspire to be wise, you need to actively pursue it. Wisdom doesn't come to those who wait passively. It comes to those who are curious, reflective, and always willing to learn. It's a lifelong journey, one that involves making mistakes, learning from them, and constantly striving to understand more about the world and our place in it. Quote 9. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. We often hear stories of people who seem to have everything fall into place for them, almost as if by magic. Maybe they landed a dream job, found themselves in the right place at the right time, or achieved something extraordinary with what seems like little effort. It's easy to look at these situations and chalk them up to luck, but Seneca's quote challenges this notion by pointing out that what we often call luck is actually the result of preparation meeting opportunity. Let's break this down. Imagine someone who has spent years honing their skills, whether it's in their career, a hobby, or a sport. They've put in the hours, learned from their mistakes, and constantly worked on improving themselves. One day, an unexpected opportunity arises. A job opening, a competition, or a chance encounter with someone influential. Because they've been preparing for so long, they're ready to seize the opportunity, and it leads to what others might call a lucky break. But in reality, this luck was the result of all the preparation they had done beforehand. If they hadn't been prepared, the opportunity might have passed them by, or they might not have been able to make the most of it. This is the essence of Seneca's quote. Luck isn't just a random stroke of good fortune. It's what happens when you're ready to take advantage of the opportunities that come your way. Think about famous inventors, athletes, or artists. Many of them had moments that seemed like pure luck, a sudden breakthrough, a winning shot, or a chance to showcase their work. But behind those moments were years of dedication, practice, and preparation. When the right opportunity came along, they were ready, and that's what made them lucky. This quote is a powerful reminder to always be preparing, even when it seems like nothing is happening. You never know when the right opportunity will present itself, and when it does, your preparation will determine whether you can capitalize on it. It encourages us to work hard, stay diligent, and be ready for when our moment comes. Luck favors those who are prepared, so make sure you're always ready to meet it. Quote 10. The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. Life is full of unknowns. No matter how much we plan or how carefully we try to control our circumstances, the future is always uncertain. We don't know what tomorrow will bring, whether it will be filled with joy, challenges, or surprises. This uncertainty can be both exciting and terrifying, depending on how we approach it. Seneca's quote encourages us to embrace this uncertainty instead of letting it paralyze us with fear or worry. Since we can't predict or control the future, the best thing we can do is live fully in the present. Live immediately means making the most of each moment, appreciating the here and now, and not putting off life until some imagined future time when everything will be perfect. Consider someone who is always waiting for the right time to do something, whether it's pursuing a passion, starting a family, traveling, or simply enjoying life. They might think, "I'll do it when I have more money," or "I'll be happy once I get that promotion," or "I'll start. I am grateful for that you have joined us on this journey through Seneca's timeless wisdom." If you found these Stoic quotes inspiring and are eager to put them into practice, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment below, sharing which quote resonated most with you or how you plan to apply these insights to your life. And remember, embracing these ancient teachings could be the key to overcoming your modern challenges. Stay tuned for more transformative content, and let's continue this journey towards a wiser, more fulfilled life together. See you in the next video.